How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation. It's time to get creative. Time to get that imagination all revved up. And it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from my new art obsession. That is Egon, I believe it's Schiele. Bear with me if you know that I'm pronouncing that wrong. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. He is a phenomenal illustrator and artist. Probably my new favorite of anybody that I've seen in probably the last 6 months. And again, I realize that he's not new. He was, I believe, 1800s, early 1900s. But his stuff is just beautiful. I love everything that I've seen of his. I'm big into figure drawing completely. That's what I love in concept art and all that stuff. And I feel like he has such a unique art style. And I really love the elongatedness and the even shakiness of some of the line work and stuff too. It's just great. If you haven't seen his work, definitely check him out. And I'll leaf through a couple of these. I do love those facial expressions and everything. I feel like there's such the way that he does this arm, but how it's so rigid but yet fleshy is just great. You can really tell the bone structure and the anatomy behind it as well. The rib cages, the pointy rib cages, really great stuff. So definitely check him out. Yeah, but I want to share a quote with you guys from him as well, and that was, "Art cannot be modern. Art is primordially eternal." And I thought that was really interesting. That you can definitely see. Like I'm looking at his work now, and I can see if you look through a lot of I'm gonna forget his name right now, but the concept artist who worked on Fable 2, I believe, does a lot of this similar style work, same kind of line quality and everything, where it's really like solid dark lines, but there's a little shakiness in them too. I just love that. I really do, because I find that I either go too shaky or too polished with the lines. So I love that there's like that consistency throughout, and I think it really adds some great structure to his stuff. But the reason I bring that up is that you can see something that you're like, oh, that's such a new art style, but chances are it's iteration at least of something that's come before, because I think like deep down that expression part of art is always been around since people were doing cave paintings and the first stuff that we can find and go back to. It's just people trying to depict emotions or stories, or tell something about themselves and reveal something, and I think it's just great. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation today. This is the Moom rig. It's a free rig that you can grab over from the wonderful folks over at Creative Crash. I will throw a link to this along with some more stuff on Egon Schiele if you guys want to check out his stuff in the description below. So don't forget to check that out. And I completely implore you guys to look at more stuff from Schiele. His work is great. That being said, it is a little NSFW, so be careful for that too, if that's something that would change your mind. So anyways, if you're new to the videos, what we'll do for the rest of the videos, we give ourselves 48 frames. It's 2 seconds of animation, and I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before that's a free resource that you guys can mess around with and play with, and we kind of see what we come up with. A little bit of instruction, a little bit of just exercise, planning, going through it, and just playing around. Kind of just hang out with me throughout the whole thing while we animate, and hopefully along the way you guys at least feel like you have some company in that art struggle, in that art world, that you're not alone. And I hope the main goal of doing these is to hopefully inspire you guys, whether you learn something along the way and you want to go try it out, or you're way further down the road, but at least you're getting inspired by the consistency of doing it every day, or a different rig, or something that we talk about. Maybe you'll get that creative stuff going in you, and you'll go off and create something of your own. And if you do, don't forget, always share back on the channel, so I can give you guys some thumbs up and encouragement on your work as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive in here. So what I was thinking for this one is maybe kind of like a little bit of a march for this one. So let's go ahead and puff out the chest a little bit more. And I've never used this rig, but it's been around for a while and always gets pretty high rankings in people's view of how good this rig is. So I'm interested to see what we can get out of it. Let's see if we have. Let's see switches on here. 1 second here. Okay, so this big L right here, make sure we're still recording there. Okay, is the arm switch, and we want to switch that over to FK. It's just what I like working in usually for walks. It makes it more natural for big moves, where for more acting shots, usually I tend to go with IK, but for more body mechanic style shots, definitely think FK is the way to go. So that's kind of weird how it manipulates the body there when we do that. But that's okay, it's not a big deal. Let's hope the other side kind of does the same thing. It doesn't. Alright, well, could probably not do a very head-on view for that then. We're going to do a side view, and that's not going to show up too much. Okay. And let's go ahead and rotate that up a little bit. Still strange how that works. Affects the body. And but yeah, I was thinking to march, so we'll do higher steps, and we'll do closed fist, and we'll keep the arm swings more focused forward as well. Go puff out the butt a little bit more here. And I think we'll do cycle for this one. Just to avoid like this though. Okay. Let's go ahead and push these feet out just a little bit and out over here and turn and pivot. Just try and create more of that nice storytelling pose if we can. And let's go and grab each of the digits here. Interesting how they bend here. I think I want to keep A out a little bit more. And let's do a little more A here. It's nice that they give you all these different fingers. Probably be fun to do another shot with this rig if I can figure out why the hip is acting that way. Unfortunately, today the internet connection is not so great, so I won't be able to download a new version just in case. This is an older version I had, but that might be the case as well, so I'll definitely check that out if I end up using this rig again. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of bend here. And let's go and do the same. Similar, not exactly the same. In this hand, make a little bit of a clench for a march on. I think closed fist is usually better there. Oops. And we might need to tweak this a little bit here. Let's grab this one. We'll spread it out a little bit more. It doesn't lend itself to a really great fist here, does it? It's okay. Let's see if we can't get something a little bit better than what we've got right now. Starting to get there, albeit this third finger's still a little funky. So let's go ahead and pull that back. Pull that back. Bend that a resembling a fist where all the fingers aren't completely intersected together. I guess that'll work. It's not the best, but it'll work for now. I don't want to spend all of our time here. I usually try to keep these videos within about an hour or so. So that means sometimes we can't spend as much time on posing as we'd like to. It feels like it's all right. Let's see if we can't still get this pinky. Twist a little bit back in here. There we go. And let's go ahead and tilt the head upward a little bit. I feel like it should be a little bit kind of pompously upward. Okay, I feel like that's a fairly good place to start. We could probably pull that arm back a little bit more. It creates a fairly good silhouette there. One thing we might check is our hips. We'll actually use the root controller though. Pull it back just to make sure we got our weight distributed fairly well. Again, this is going to be a walk, so there's going to be some movement here. We just want to kind of keep them balanced in here. I feel like that's a fairly good place to start here, so go ahead and save your file. I already did that earlier. Save it whenever you want, and we'll go ahead and grab everything here. Just save it a little more time. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for this one. A wonderful, phenomenal program, and like always, there is a link to more info on the program down in the description below if you guys want to play around with that. So I'll go ahead and set that, and I feel like maybe we should do these on 10s a little bit faster. Seems about right for this one, but not too fast. I think we'll do, actually, but if we're doing a cycle, we want to do it on 60 rather than 50, so a little bit longer. And then we'll go here, 10. But it's a cycle, so that tends to be a little bit easier, sometimes. There's different things in a cycle versus doing like a walk left to right or across the screen. The nice part about a cycle is you kind of really just have to focus on two main big keys and then blending those so they work well together and work well in a cycle and loop well. So there's different challenges. Main struggle I think between in a cycle is getting this where the cycle ends to where it begins again and trying to get that to blend really well without feeling like it's too slow or it's too fast or it halts and holds for a couple of frames. So there's strengths and differences. Okay, so we're feeling pretty good. And we do want to do big up and downs for this if we're doing more of like a march style. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and key all of that to level 5. We'll raise it up here, and down, and 25, raise it up, down, 35, 45, raise it up, and then I'll go down. Okay, go to the other side, and then 15, we'll raise it up, and I'll go down, 35, we just want high foot raises on this if we're doing more of a march. Feel more prominent steps here. So let's go and look at that. Okay, let's go and save our file here again, and let's go ahead and take a look at both of those steps in the graph editor and make sure that they're looking a little bit balanced. They don't have to be exact, but that there's not like an excessively high step and an excessively low step. It feels like they're pretty balanced here. And just do it a little bit more. It doesn't have to be exact. We still want a little variation throughout the steps, but that there's some sort of uniformity to it. So far, it's feeling pretty good. Now let's go ahead and grab the root here. Now we'll go ahead and go up. And then down. Then up. And then down. And quite sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I want to hit that straight leg. It depends on how snappy the knees are, because unfortunately with trying to keep these in under an hour for each video, don't get a whole lot of time to really do knee polishing passes, so usually got to kind of work around that. But I think it would be nice if we could get that really straight leg on the passing position. So we'll have to see if that's something that we can, yeah, those don't feel like they're really snappy knees at all. And that's the nice thing. Sometimes when you have those character rigs where it's like a stick and a ball and another stick, like the thigh is almost really skinny and the shin bone is really skinny, and then you have a big ball knee and you try and do those straights, there's really a lot of popping in and out, so you have to be aware of that. But luckily this guy, he's got pretty universal leg throughout, so I figured that this would be one of those rigs where we could really get that straight. And the straights are nice because they help sell the weight a lot more. If you can get that nice bit of straight and then bend, it really helps sell the weight of a movement a lot better. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now remember, there's something kind of funky with this hip, which is why we're going to switch over to keep it in this perspective, just so that we just because there's a little bit of that deformation there that's happening, just because this arm for some reason is affecting the buttocks area. Okay, let's do some arm swings here. This guy, let's have it drag a little bit, so pull it back there, and 15, just kind of get that little bit of looping movement there. But again, you see how it's affecting that other part? I'm not sure where that's coming from, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and work around it here. Let's go and see. Definitely need to swing this arm up higher, especially if we want it to feel like it's kind of matching that one. Let's see. Alright, that might be a little too high, so somewhere in between. Alright. Try and clean that up a little bit more here if we can. Probably do a little less dragging down. The other side here. See if we can get this starting to look alright. Let's go bring it back there. Bring it up again. Bring it back. Up. And let's see that now. Okay. And let's go ahead and swing it up a little bit here. The thing that I'm noticing here is I'm probably not going to go down as much on the other side now that I'm looking at it. I feel like that's about kind of where I want the extreme to go, but I'm sure it'll be kind of a blend of the two a little bit more. this arm is going to work better than the other ones. Let's go look at it. Okay, let's go ahead and look at that a little bit more. Yeah, so I think what that means universally is we'll just start off kind of at a higher point or something like that. And I think it's still going probably a little too high there, so I'll go ahead and pull that back a little bit more. It's kind of going to stiffen them up, but I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more. We'll come back to those and do some wrestling stuff, but I think we need to try to get the hips working a little bit better before we go any further here. Just going to do a little bit side to side so the weight's over the planted foot here. And let's go ahead and take a look here. Even that out a little bit more, or probably squash it down a bit. Let's see here. Now I wonder if I tone down the rotate Y here, if that's going to fix this. I really think it's probably because of just that movement of the arm. See how it's affecting there? We can see. No, that really doesn't do anything, so I'll go ahead and just leave that alone. Okay, and let's do a little bit of rotate here. Just a little tilt on the Z axis, so it's not just moving side to side, but also tilting a little when it moves. And we'll probably, we gotta even that up and also offset it with how we approach the chest as well. But we want to pepper a little bit of that in there. Sprinkle it in, pepper it in. Okay, let's go and look now. Again, we're not going to be able to really do straight front on view or straight side view just because of how deformed that leg is. But I feel like it'll still work from pretty much a side view here, maybe like a 3/4 view. Okay, let's save that here. And now we'll go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Y to favor the front planted foot. So favor that, and the other side, other side, other side. Now we might not be able to get away with a lot of this because it looks like we're getting a little bit of popping in that hip for some reason. So to be careful. I think we might have to do a lot less of the rotate Y on the hips, but we'll see. But it's fun to, personally, I think it's a fun challenge to go off and find a new rig that I've never used before, and then just dive right in and play around with it, and then come up with sometimes some fun obstacles to get through. Let's try using all three, but we might have to just use the top one. But yeah, I think, like I was saying, I think it's fun to give yourself the challenge of trying something new, going right in, fresh, just jumping in and playing around with it. And sometimes we get funky stuff that goes along with it, and sometimes it goes completely smooth. But it's fun to challenge yourself. So I definitely challenge you guys to go off and do that with whatever medium you guys are using, to always be ready to tackle new things and try new things and use different mediums and stuff. I know personally I need to get into in my drawing stuff, get into using a lot of different types of pencils or different types of inks and stuff with my work, because I think that'll add some more life to my work and some more challenges that are a little bit different than what I'm used to doing these days. It's just fun to mix it up. Plus, it's just sometimes literally just fun. It's maybe you don't necessarily learn something completely new, but it changes up so it doesn't seem monotonous of doing the same kinds of exercises quite often. Do a little bit of rotate Z there, there, up there, up there, up there, up there. So let's kind of see that now. Alright, let's clean that up, and I think we're going to have to do less of that, or we're going to have to do more in the hips to offset it, because right now it doesn't feel super balanced or anything in there. So let's tone it down here and see if we want to tone up the tilt of the hips a little bit more. Something on the wrist here. See this, if I move this controller, it shouldn't affect the belly at all, but for some reason it is. But we'll just have to work around it. That's okay. It's not doing too much except for giving us a little bit of that extra squash and flop in the belly, which is probably going to do anyways. But it means when we get into doing that, we're going to have to be aware that we've got other stuff working. Use it and what do they call that? Counter animate against it, or exaggerate it when we get in there to doing some loosening up in the belly region. Let's swap here. I do want these ups to be bigger. So let's see. Let's go with the other hand here. You can see when I move this hand, it doesn't affect the belly at all. So it's either something, probably something I did wrong. We'll see that. Go up, go down, then I go back again. I think I'm going to keep the head a little bit rigid. We're definitely going to loosen it up a little bit more than we have now, but I think I like having that, the contrast of the rest of the body being pretty loose, but having kind of a rigid, straight up, puffed out chest and neck area. I feel like that adds some playfulness to it that wouldn't otherwise be there. So let's go ahead and drag the foot back there and lift it up here. Drag the foot back there, lift it up. So let's go to I think we need a little more drag and a little less lift. So we'll go ahead and exaggerate the drag here. there's a little bit of a lean forward. I feel like that's more balanced there. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the rotate X's on both feet and kind of find a good medium amount in there, good average amount. So they both feel pretty similar. Again, they don't have to be exact. They just have a similar feel for both of them. Now, is there a toe drag in here? Let's see. Okay, not toe twist. Let's make sure we don't get that. What kind of a toe? There we go. Lift it up, gives it 2 frames, flop it down just so we get a little bit of breaking up the movement in that foot even more. And it helps sell that contact as well by having the heel hit and then the toe. And 2 frames is definitely something you can feel. If we did it on 1 frame, it'd be a bit hard. Yeah, I'm not gonna even go with what I was gonna say there. Drag the toe back here, lift it up, and zero that out. Drag it back, lift it up. Sort that out. Let's go look at that now. We've got some very floppy feet there. Okay, and let's go ahead and do maybe a little bit less toe. I feel like that might be a little too over-exaggerated, so let's grab everything here, just kind of tone it down a little more. I'm gonna have to do a little bit less on this one because this is where it flips from the end to the beginning of the cycle, so we do want a little bit of change. We don't want this to be exact there. And do a little bit less here. Just find kind of a medium, or some of them we're going to do a little more, a little bit less. Okay, take a look at that. Just try and tone down that toe flop a little bit from what it was. One thing I feel like has kind of gone away is the up and down here. So let's really crank that up a little bit more. Get that bounce going again. And let's go ahead and crank them down a little bit more too. It's really exaggerated overall. Get a nice bit of bounce in there. And since we exaggerated that a little bit more, I think we can take the raising of the foot on the passing position a little bit higher there. Let's see. There we go. Feels a little better. I love the faces this character makes. The way that they set up the face, I think is really funny and real goofy, real playful. Okay, so let's take the fingers and see if we can loosen them up a little bit more. See if we can spread, drag them a little bit there. And swing a little bit that way. And go back, drag a little bit there. Swing up a little bit that way. And we can probably tone this down or crank it up depending on how it ends up playing when we watch it. Try it back there, swing it forward, and then back again. I think I'm going to tone it down. Let's go watch it now. Now one thing I do want to do is I want to take this finger, I want to push it forward a frame, take the pinky, I want to delay it a frame, and that will give us 2 frame difference in the hand here, so it'll help loosen it up and make it feel like it's not all hitting at the same frame. And it's not really something that we're really going to see, but we'll just feel how loose that is. And then I'll go in here, I'll go 10, this is at a different timing and a different type of movement, so it'll help loosen up that hand a little bit more too. See if we could actually do maybe a little bit of up and down here on the head. So we'll go down there, and then up here. I think that could be fun. So that way it's not kind of an in and out, but more of an up and down on the head. And again, I think we're probably going to tone this down a lot. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, let's delay it about 2 frames. Let's try to go the other way with it. Bring it down a little bit more. Whoa. Wrong frame there. Wrong frame there, buddy. Bring it down a little bit here. Let's see here. Might be a little too much. It's pretty close though. Yeah, let's go and add a little bit of rotate there to it. Okay, that's not the great. Excuse me, got the hiccups today. That's not the greatest, so let's try and clean that up a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, I think we need to go other direction with this. Okay, let's push it forward a frame here, and let's minimize it. And I think we're onto something And this is a stylistic choice thing. It's not like it's not working it this way. It's just what's the best way. I think we need to still do some. We'll do a little bit less on the arms as well. So less down. Still want the ups to feel about the same. There's just a lot going on, so we gotta figure out where we're gonna cut from where. So again, not so much down here. Let's see. And one thing I want to try here is go ahead and do a little more there. Go down, a little bit of drag in the belly area, pretty much. Up, down, up. And we might not be able to get away with a lot of this because of how deformed things were getting from the movement of that arm and how it was affecting the belly, but I think it'd be fun to play around with. And go back again. Okay, now probably gonna. This is probably over exaggerated, so let's tone it down here. Kind of even it out a little bit. And keep that, bring that down there. And there. Just so there's that change of positioning in the. Still want this to be a little bit high though. Okay, let's see if we can't now get a little bit of compression here. So let's go back to the main root controller and let's try to straighten him up a little bit. Bring it back. And then we'll offset this in the chest. And this is one of those areas where it's a little bit of tweaking, until we can get it all squared away. So I kind of want to make this pretty uniform, since this is like an offset thing. We have to counter animate the hips from the chest, so I tend to go pretty even with this. Doesn't have to be exact, but a little more care in this area, just because it's a give and take between how much animation we do on the chest and how much we do on the hips. So I try to make this a little more balanced, because it's more of a feel thing than a see. You just want to feel the looseness there rather than really have to see the up and down or the in and out from some other areas. So I'm going to try and straighten that out a little bit more. And then bring it back. Straighten that out a little bit more and bring it back. And that'll help loosen up just this middle section a little bit more. Let's definitely go in and clean up. And make sure we're cycling correctly. So grab all of those again. this guy? Be nice if there was. Head on, facial, head extra controls. All on here. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to use that. This one. Let's see if they give us a chin now. Notice how like open and closed. There we go. I think I'm gonna have to do a mix of forward and back, and it's gonna set that there. Have it drag back there, and close there. And just because this controller is a little finicky, I'm just gonna mimic these, and then we'll get a little bit of variation in the graph editor instead here. Yeah, we're trying to mix up the timing too, so we're doing these on different frames than once. But eventually, if we mix up our timing enough, we're going to be pretty close to having this thing at once. So let's see. Okay, I think a little too much down. I kind of like how it closes though, so let's see. Do they have a cheat controller? This would be kind of fun. Let's grab both sides here. Set that. We'll go ahead and drag. Oh, it's not an up and down cheek. Okay, let's see. How about this? How about these? Darn, I was hoping there would be like an actual good cheek controller to use, so we can get some fleshiness in those cheeks. It's gotta be a way we can do it though. We can do just a little bit of this teeny tiny bit. Let's go take this, set that there. We'll go 5, drag it down there, 10, up there. Okay, again, this is probably too much already, and I'll probably delay it a frame from where we have it right now. But I think if we do this, we can get some more fleshiness in that face. Okay, again, I don't want a ton of it, just a little bit. And probably going to delay it one frame from where we have it. So let's see. see that's too long to come back up. So let's go ahead and shorten those by 4. Just to loosen that up so his eyes don't feel so static. Makes it look like he's kind of looking to the side rather than looking forward just from this angle, but that's okay. I don't think we did the fingers on the other hand yet, so let's go ahead and do those here, and let's go ahead and see that. So go ahead and spread it that way. Down, tilt them up, and bring it down, tilt them up, and bring it down, go back to our corner before. Okay, we'll take this guy, and push it forward a frame, and this guy, and we'll drag him back a frame. Let's go ahead and see that. Let's look at our thumb. And it's going to be back here. Lead in there. Back there. Lead in here. Back there. Just so we loosen up that thumb as well. Could be like a little parade walker or something. And we'll do a little bit up and down the shoulders too. Just a teeny bit. Just to mix up everything a little more. So there. And then go. Might be too much. We'll add a little bounce in there. We'll see. If we don't like it, we can always get rid of it. Probably even exaggerated, I guess, a little bit more. Maybe push it forward 1 frame. Minimize it a little bit more. And again, we got some deformation going on here, which would be nice if we could polish out, but I think this one turned out alright. So let's go ahead and turn our curves off. So let's turn everything off. And that was probably where one of my faults was today. Didn't turn everything off before I started keying stuff, so it's probably my fault. Okay, why is this not? Let's create another layer and just hide that way. Okay. Those two. just so we have a floor to work with. And create like a primitives cube here. Little background. And let's go back to what we were looking at before. We'll go ahead and assign a new material that's over here. What color should we make it? What color haven't we used for a while? Nice little kind of aqua blue. Let's go grab this one here, and this one here. I'm gonna hide those layers as well. In case we don't get to get rid of that one, it hides everything. That's okay. We'll go ahead and leave it. Let's show everything again. Let's delete everything in one frame here just so we have a little better transition between the loop here. Sure, sometimes you gotta watch it a couple times. See if it's skipping a frame because the computer's just rendering it slow, or if it's because the animation is. But it seems like that's pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at my new art obsession is Egon Schiele, and art cannot be modern. Art is primordially eternal. It's a fun word to say, primordially. I think that's totally true, that there's everything that is modern, it comes from somewhere in art. You know, there's something that's been around for forever. I mean, they used to call it like the muses. Some people call it like spiritual energy. Other people just call it like a creative force or any of that kind of stuff. But it's around and it's been around, and all these different versions of animation or illustration or music or anything. I mean, you look at like what was that Blurred Line song that was just like a version of, oh, I'm getting a space right now and I can't look it up, of an older song. It was really popular by comments down below, people. My brain space in here. But it's that same idea of, even though they said that like they weren't trying to plagiarize that song, it's just a melody that exists, that gets stuck and looped in people's head, and they think about it, and then they're not even saying that they're trying to rip it off, but it's just something that comes natural to us as human beings. And it's that whole eternal, long-lasting, there's another word for it, like a folk soul that exists, that we all kind of touches us, and then it makes us create that creative force. So let me know what you guys think if you end up using this rig to create an animation of your own. Definitely share it back so I can see the wonderful stuff that you guys came up with. If you have anything that you learned through this video, definitely share it down below so I can know what worked for you guys. If there's different ideas or things you would have done different in this video, let me know as well. Happy to spark any of that creative discussion. Yeah, if you guys ever need encouragement or thumbs up or anything on your videos as well, just let me know. I'm happy to do that as well as we create this great little creative community, because you guys are wonderful and I totally believe in you. So keep following your dreams every day. I love you lots. And that being said, I think it's that time again, so we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.